Japanese or Okinawan Tonfa is one of my favorite self-defense tools. It's super simple, a very basic device, just a chunk of wood with a handle on the side. We also call this in law enforcement a side handle baton. And the side handle baton, the PR-24, made by Monadnock, is a little bit longer. Got two here now, I got a couple in the corner. And it's made of a hard plastic or resin, but it's exactly the same thing. In fact, it's based off of this. It's so powerful because you get this handle here and you get to concentrate all of your force into the tip by striking this way. So it's super simple, right? In training, we often do push-ups on the ground, holding on to the handles like that. Striking with this position, you can snap it around, give yourself extra room, distance between you and the attacker. Striking this way, you can strike swinging through, coming back, you can bring it up, under, you can bring it down at an angle over the top. All of these basic swinging motions for self-defense, but also that simple striking. Holding it here, you can use that as the same way you would a hammer for self-defense. So this becomes very effective. It's also a good gripping or grappling, stripping tool, pulling something out of somebody's hand. And then of course, you can strike at that side. You can also hold it here and use it the same way you would a traditional baton for self-defense. So it's a very simple self-defense tool. If you like different self-defense tools, give me a thumbs up. If you like training for self-defense, give me a thumbs up. If you've ever thought about using the Tonfa, give me the thumbs up. So we're gonna go over basic ways to warm up first, and then how to do some basic strikes, how to do some of these basic blocks. A lot of it is intuitive. Some of it is going to be counterintuitive and when you get to some of the swings. But it's a pretty basic, simple tool, simple self-defense tool. T, it's good to see you. The first thing I want you to do is hold under here. Your thumb comes under that knob right there. And I put a link below if you want to see what a pair of Tonfa costs, if you want to get your own Tonfa for self-defense or for martial arts training. There's a couple different versions down there. But you just close your hand under it. Hello, Doug. Steven, good to see you. Steven said he was just thinking about working out with these. Good, grab them and let's go. You're gonna close your hand around it. You want to have it firmly closed, but don't squeeze. If you squeeze, you're not gonna be able to swing it around. If you have it too open though, it's gonna come flying out of your hand. That's happened to me. Happened to me with my PR-24 when I was showing off for a bunch of friends and I broke some things I wish I hadn't. Never take it back, right? But that's all part of the process of learning. So you're gonna have your hand closed, just not squeezing tight. Hello, Garen, Richard, good to see you. Matthew, good to see you. So holding in this position, the first thing I want you to do is simple striking. And always when you strike, strike through the center line. I see often when I'm working with people, good, great, awesome punches, good technique, or good technique with a weapon, but they're coming from shoulder and they're hitting in the air to the shoulder, which means it's going right past your target, or you're hitting them in the chest instead of the solar plexus. So always rotate the hand over and turn the shoulders and hips. Same is true for your Tonfa. Can you use this self-defense tool? It's super simple. If you learn how to chamber first, and when you chamber, don't think about bringing your hands here, think about bringing your elbows back. In martial arts, chamber and traditional striking, like Japanese styles, Okinawan, Korean styles, we chamber from the chest. Some of the styles chamber from the hip, but when people do that, they bring the hand in, which pops the chicken wing out. Anytime the chicken wing's out, you're gonna be throwing through the shoulder, it's gonna be a weak punch. You wanna protect your shoulder, you wanna generate the maximum amount of stopping power, pull your elbows back, and that will naturally put your hand in the right position. Same is true here. Pull your elbows back and then practice full extension, just striking, and of course you can strike to the face. And you can do this in a martial arts stance. If you want the training for the legs, that's always a good idea. If you're just practicing for self-defense, I suggest doing both stance training to strengthen the legs. You're not gonna use the stances in self-defense. You'll go into a better position, so it's a good idea to practice them, but mostly practice, just put your feet under your body. Learn how to move really well, right and left, right and left. But we're gonna do this, and the key here is locking out that arm. Lock out that arm. Start slowly so you don't hyperextend. Throw in the breath. Turn everything into that so that when you strike, you're going through that target with maximum force, maximum velocity. You want to hit them before they hit you in self-defense, and you're going first into the face. Then think about solar plexus. And again, remember, it's not here, you're punching the air, but directly into the center line. Lying dog, faster punch comes vertical position to a vertical position, rotation. Maybe you're thinking of the Wing Chun punch, the chain punch, going straight in. And I'm not sure that I agree, but I might be missing your point, so I'm not gonna have a strong opinion yet. We can talk about that later, but you're just coming straight in here, turning. The key is I want you to get the shoulders, get the hips, turn in, fully extend the arms when you're training with this self-defense tool. Can you use this self-defense tool to stop a bigger opponent? Yeah, you get that hard piece of wood going right into the solar plexus, into the throat, into the face. I don't care if you're not a lot stronger than they are, you're going to be able to strike really hard. Yeah, Doug's talking about how much power you can generate with that PR-24, that military or law enforcement side handle baton, which is basically the Japanese Tonfa, just a little bit longer. And you generate so much force. Now, when you strike with this, down in this angle, I want you to picture between the belly button and their private parts, that thin amount of muscle. And this is something they taught us when I used the PR-24 in training, when I was learning how to use it as law enforcement, as a police officer in the Marine Corps. That was the favorite area to strike, just hard and fast. In fact, that was a favorite area that I had to strike if I had to stop somebody and put them on the ground, because with a hard knuckle, right here, not the privates, you're not going for the privates, you're not going for the belly button, you're going for that thin muscle that when it rips and tears, you get looks like a knuckle under your, if you've ever seen somebody with a hernia, or if you've ever had one, looks like you got a fist in there, because the guts literally come out under the skin and they come through that muscle. You hit that with sufficient force, you're gonna put them on the floor. Hello, Sensei Emmett from Ireland, it's good to see you. You're just coming straight down at that angle. Then you can practice punching face, solar plexus, groin. And here's the big difference when you do self-defense training with this self-defense tool. Can you use this self-defense tool, the Japanese Tonfa? If you are using it for self-defense, you don't want to think in terms of martial arts training, which is upper punches, middle punches, lower punches, or the different, maybe you've got a Japanese, Okinawan word, a Korean word for the different strikes. Strike those from your vocabulary as you train. Think in terms, shift your mind to self-defense terms. Self-defense terms, you're gonna think of targets that you can remove or destroy. What target can you remove or destroy here? Eyesight, the ability to breathe temporarily or permanently, right? Their ability to be awake because you struck them in the forehead or you struck them anywhere in the head, puts them asleep. So, yeah, Sensei Emmett says these are great for locks and takedowns. Absolutely. And we probably won't get into those in this video because I want to hit them. I just want to hit them and get out of there. But they're all absolutely true. Doug's asking, did I ever smack the ribs? I'm sure you're talking about the PR-24. Hundreds and hundreds of times when you get into that training, you start doing your swinging with that PR-24. I can't tell you how many times, wham, you hit yourself a little too hard. That muscle goes, there's muscles here that help you breathe too, called the intercostals. Or you hit that rib and you just bruise it, and you feel it for weeks, right, Doug? But yeah, I've tagged myself so many times hard in those positions. I kind of miss it. Every once in a while, I give myself one, and then so I can feel it for a couple days. All right, so think of terms, targets you can remove or destroy. Eyesight, ability to breathe, ability to stand upright, right? Ability to stand up, ability to try to hurt you. This is one of the, you can keep these at the house. I wouldn't put this in the car on the seat next to you. You just get stopped, unless you tell the law enforcement, oh yeah, I'm just coming from karate class, or I'm going to my Gojuru class, or I have an Okinawan weapons class, my Budo class, I'm over there at the training hall. You're probably not gonna get away with it. That shows intent that you're trying to get out and smash somebody. But these are great for your home. You can use these to train with at home. This is extra weight. This is about a pound, almost a pound in each hand. You're gonna strike harder, but you can also keep these in the house. I call this a home insurance policy against like a violent assault or like an intruder, right? Somebody busts in the door. These are close by. I'm not gonna give them a show, right? I'm not gonna start to flip them and spin them and do all this. I'm just gonna pick them up, bam! And thinking about targets to remove or destroy. That's why I said not martial arts, but self-defense. Can you use a self-defense tool? Yes, when you think in terms of eyes, nose, throat, mouth. So train with that in mind. Think eyesight, think breathing, and then go for those strikes. That'll give you a more informed training. And then when you have to use it for real, you'll be ready to go. You'll have that mental trigger installed. You have that mental switch that I talk about. You switch that, boom, you're in the right mindset. Now you're defending yourself. You're not fighting them, you're destroying them for self-defense. It's either you or him, so let him go home in the ambulance or let them come and scoop him away. He came into your house. This is your home insurance policy, homeowner's policy, right? You need a little bit of extra protection. Senior citizen, senior self-defense. This is also great because these are all force multipliers. They give you a little extra strength. No matter how strong you are, you put these in your hand, you now have more force because it's all concentrated. And when you learn how to extend and rotate and even step in a little bit, then there's no stopping you. You've got maximum power with these. Perfect self-defense tool. Now, those are basic strikes, right? I do want to show you this swinging motion. And the first one I'm going to have you do, this one will stay chambered. I'm going to come across the body. And here's where you're going to open your hand, not completely. Just going to open it a little bit, but not, Rebecca, you're asking about these. These are about 35, 40 years old probably. And man, they're super strong. There's no metal in them. See that? Wooden pegs. These are probably made in Okinawa. I don't see where... It does have some, I don't even know if that's upside down or not, right? I don't know what that says. It's burned in there. But these are, it goes that way. Now I can see it. Yeah, so the punch, you just strike them, remove their teeth, right? Remove their ability to see, move, and stop them. PR-24 does not swivel. The PR-24 is a solid piece. In fact, let me grab that for you real quick. I do have a class coming in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you, this is probably my favorite self-defense tool, the Tonfa. After all of the bows and the long staffs, of course. Peter Mueller, it's good to see you. But I love to do this. This just breaks up the monotony. But this is the PR-24, made by Monadnock, right? This is the one that was issued to me as a young Marine, military policeman, 1989, 90. Yeah, so you can see it's just a little bit longer, but everything else is pretty much the same. This is a solid piece. That's not going to break. This is going to be around forever. In fact, when I do the push-ups now, I used to do push-ups on these, but I don't want to break them because they're so old now, and I've had them for so long, I would miss them. So I do the push-ups. I have another one of these someone just sent me. So I've been doing them on this instead, saving these. Plus it's a little harder because it's a rounded tip. That's square. That's a little bit more, more stable. There is a link below. If the ones on eBay work, go for those. I'm not sure you can't get the PR-24 in some places because it's a controlled item. It's a weapon, law enforcement weapon. But these, there's a link before or below if you want to see, if you're here in the States and you would get a pair. And they're made just about the same, but these are probably handmade and you're not going to replace this one. But you can probably find, in this one, it's getting a little loose. Like I said, I don't want to break them, so I stopped doing the push-ups on them. But you're meant to do push-ups on them. That's a way to strengthen the forearm, the grip, all that stuff. No, so Rayback is the full extension, dangerous on your elbow. It is as a beginner. Once you start to get used to it, what happens is you're going to squeeze the muscles at the extension, right? There, I haven't seen that in a while. That's from the Marine Corps. That's from, the whole end of my elbow came off one time, including some of the bone. That's funny, I haven't seen that forever. Anyway, full extension, right? Full extension, if you learn how to do it right, you're not gonna overextend it, but I know what you're talking about because I felt that when I first started striking, and I know a lot of people feel it, they overextend and they're like, or they do it with their knee. That's just, that it takes your body a while to learn how to not do that. The more you punch, I probably haven't done that in, 20 years, 30 years. But I know exactly what you're talking about. When you, like someone is holding something and then they pull it back or whatever and you overextend, what happens is, usually if you've done it for a long time, your body's gonna learn how to not do it. When I say full extension on the punch, what I mean specifically is turning over a little bit like a boxer's punch, so that you get that full extension in your arm, so that then when you rotate, you're getting all of that power and it's not coming back. It's almost like flinching. You want to hit and go through instead of hit and pull back. When you do it with this, same thing's going to be true. So always go slow at first. If you're a beginner, take your time, but after about 3 to 6 months, you won't be extending your elbow anymore. All right, so we're coming across and back. When you come across, loosen this a little bit. Blitz Sports, Sensei Emmett is always a good source. I've asked him to help me sometimes figure out when people say, hey, I'm in Europe, or I'm in England, I'm in Ireland, where can I get such and such? Then, Doug said that he had the swivel PR24. I didn't know they made a swivel PR24. He had one in aluminum. So yeah, I guess they are out there. But if you contact Sensei Emmett, if you're in Europe and you can't find something, Sensei Emmett could probably help you source some of these things. So just practice bringing it over and back. And when you first do it, it's not going to want to come out of your hand because your hand's not going to be used to it yet. But fight for it, right? Fight to keep going, fight to learn something new, fight to get out of your comfort zone. Most of us fight to quit, to give up, find every reason we can, something's not gonna work. All you need is one reason why it will work, and then fight for that reason. That reason could just be because you like it, because it's cool, because you want to defend yourself. So fight for it. So you're gonna go back and forth, but see how I'm pulling across my body? This is really important. When I do this motion, I simply loosen that grip a little bit. The key is not to have it close to your body, or like Doug and I were talking about earlier, you're gonna whack yourself. So come all the way out, and also don't come to here, but come across your body and back. From side to side. Andre, good to see you in France. Beautiful France. My neighbor next door, he's a personal trainer, just got back from France. And he was so excited, he's French. He was talking about the food. He can't get the food anywhere but France, the French food, French wine. He was all excited. So he told me how beautiful it is in France right now. Bring it across and back, across and back, across and back. Then bring it up. And when you bring it up, you can bring it up in front of your body, under the chin, right? Think about under the chin. Think about into the groin, between the legs, smacking, all different parts. And then, so you can bring it up. It's going to land on the top of your arm, and then you're just going to tuck it back under. So bring it up, tuck it under, just from side to side, coming here, up and under, up and under. Do that for a while, and then put them together, out and back and up, and then out, back and up. And that's going to be a good warm-up. That's going to really get your heart rate up. That's going to lean you out faster. That's also going to teach you how to do these striking motions for self-defense. But I also want you to learn how to do this, right? By turning halfway. So bring it out. Oh, there it is. And then striking. And then bring it back in. So you're going to then go back into your striking practice. A little sticky hand there. And back. 1, 2. One quick pro tip. I'm going to show you. Pick this up. My daughter, during COVID last year, we got her a bunch of gymnastics equipment that I put here in the school because I couldn't have students. Kids and I came here every day. They got their homework done, the virtual learning, which really is not that great. But we got to have like gym class all day. And I got her a bunch of these chalk blocks. One block will last you like 10 years. I got like 10 blocks. So I started putting them on my hand. You literally just like wipe your hand there. Oh, thanks, Studer. I appreciate that donation. I had to fix the air conditioning this week. $500 for a little part, so that really helps. See how that just a little bit of chalk there, and then when I smack it out, look how much faster that moves. Try not to hit myself as I demonstrate. So then I'm going to practice here, strike, and back. So then you put them together. 1, 2, 3, and then back in. 1, 2, out, bring it in. 1, out, and in. And then you can also strike with this long part down and across the face and back. Smack it out, down and back, down and back. So all starts here in the chamber, coming down, coming back, coming down, coming back. So there's just some basic ways that you can use this basic self-defense tool. Can you use a self-defense tool? You can when you keep it simple. Remember, a martial arts weapon used in martial arts often has a very robust amount of training that goes along with it. There's that chalk, which is important because it's going to develop you overall as a martial artist, right? And good afternoon. But a self-defense tool, you want to break it down to you want to boil it down, right? Find its most critical components for self-defense. What's going to keep you safe? And I keep looking to make sure they're not at the door. But what's going to keep you safe? What's going to keep you safe with this simple self-defense tool are basic strikes. Maybe extending your reach a little bit, right? What's going to keep you safe are these swinging strikes for self-defense. Swinging strikes. Coming down, coming back. What's going to keep you safe are coming through here and coming up. What's going to keep you safe are thinking in terms of throat, eyes, nose, breathing, right? Solar plexus, breathing, standing, or down to that groin, into the groin, put them on the floor, right? Standing up, give them a hernia, smashing through. And then if you need to, change your grip. And there are different ways to spin, get your hand in the other way. Obviously, I haven't done it in a long time. And then use it as a simple baton, or having it in this position. Like Sensei Emmett said before, there's all kinds of grappling, changing. There are ways to push through and arm bar, take somebody down, pressure points, joint locks, all the things that you can do to tie people up with these that I'm never able to do because I never have a partner here. And, but keep it simple, right? Learn it for self-defense one way, and then learn another way for martial arts. And then find the old style, Okinawan blocking and blocking. And we didn't really go over the block, so let's go over that real quick. I do have 1 minute. So from here, you get yourself into that neutral position. Remember I said if you were doing martial arts, we'd be down and deep and roll the hips back and get into the stance and long stances and the back stances, right? But for here, since it's simple self-defense, I want to think of some guy busts in my house. I grab my homeowner's insurance policy out of the closet near the door, and maybe he's got a knife. Maybe he's bigger than me. Maybe there are 2 or 3 of them. So I need some force multipliers, just like this. And then from here, I've got to keep it simple. I don't want to have a long, deep stance that's going to slow me down. I want to have my feet under my body, just good footing, good footwork, good foot position. I want to practice going side to side, but I've already done that. It's too late. If he breaks in the door, you grab your homeowner's policy, you have to have already done that. So now, I don't know about New Jersey. I hope they're legal. But check that first link, Matthew, if you want to see what they are. And in fact, if they don't show up in that link, they'll know that you're in New Jersey, and that's why you don't see them. So if you click on that first link, you don't see them, then no, they're not legal in New Jersey. If you click on that link and they're there, and they let you buy them, then they're legal. Because the company that sells for me, they won't sell them if they're not legal where you are. That's Century Martial Arts. They've been around for 1 million years. So anyway, so from this position, you get in this position, there's a strike to your head, you can block up, and then look what happened. You have that protection there. That's the whole point. Or shielding to the side, shielding across the body. That hand comes in to punch, grab, stab you, choke you, smashing, just breaking all that bone. They come in to punch you in the stomach or grab you or stab you, smashing with the hand straight down. In fact, if you look, this is I've seen these now, versions of these in Star Wars. Some of the stormtroopers use them. You see versions of these in different martial arts, or not martial, different movies where like the superhero or somebody, or they've got like arm shields, and they're fighting with these arms. I think Dune, the new Dune movie's coming out. They've got some things like these where they're fighting with, because it's so simple and basic. It's smart, right? Put something in your hand, it's got to protect the shoulder, the forearm. You've got protection, you've got striking. Oh, and then this is also a striking motion. Coming out, we always do this ridge hand, reverse ridge hand strike, knife hand, shudo, pseudo strike. Shudo if Korean, pseudo if you're the Japanese, depending on the pronunciation. But it's basically striking. Think about sticking this in someone's ear, boxing that ear, popping the eardrum for self-defense, or the temple for self-defense, or into that neck and putting them on the ground because now they're unconscious. You just flush the blood. got all that blood out of there, striking in here, or coming around in the ribs. Maybe you stopped his punch, he's punching straight in, and you lifted it up, right? Punch is coming in here, you lift it up, which is the reason for the high block, and then straight through with this punch, or maybe boom, coming around, or maybe you're really close, so you gotta bring it up and in right into his teeth for self-defense. You're only limited by your imagination. So get a pair of these, practice. We'll do more of these. I've got a couple videos on this channel, I think probably 10 on the Tonfa if you want to see more traditional strikes. But I want to make this one about a self-defense tool. Can you use this self-defense tool? Super simple, so fun to train with. It's going to make your arms stronger. You're going to lean out faster, especially when you start doing push-ups on them. But take your time, go slowly, and like you said earlier, if you're getting hyperextension in your elbow because you're extending all the way, slow it down. Practice, gradually speed it up, and you'll get stronger and stronger. Hooking the neck. Sensei Emmett says, hook the neck, right? I'm imagining something like this. Hook that neck and strike them at the same time. That's what I picture. I'm sure we're thinking the same thing, right? Smashing, pulling them in as you're going through the face. Sensei Emmett, that's gruesome. I love it. Perfect. It's right up my alley. Hook them in the neck, smash them in the face. All that for self-defense. Only for self-defense. All right, you guys have been awesome. I've got to go teach a group of young men to be stronger young men. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you. Studer says, aren't most non-firearms legal just about everywhere to kept in the home, the martial? Yes, Studer, I believe you are correct. But I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me on that.